Hey everyone, my name's Corbin. I wanted to make a video explaining what this YouTube channel is going to be about by introducing myself, but also by talking about what the vision, the purpose, the idea of this channel is. And so that's really going to make up what this video looks like. I debated for a long time whether or not starting a YouTube channel was something that I wanted to do. I've really thought about it for probably 3 years, gone back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do it. And the reason I had so many reservations was because I didn't want to sort of hop on the bandwagon of just trying to build a platform or something along those lines. Everyone's got a podcast, everyone's got a YouTube channel, everyone's got an online ministry, and I didn't want to just make a YouTube channel and start posting videos and content because it's what everyone else was doing. I wanted to, if I was going to do this, to have a clear vision for what it was going to be, to have a real pastoral concern for it, but also to have a personal passion and burden for making a YouTube channel and uploading different videos. And so I think in the Lord's kindness, the timing of that's worked out, and the vision for what I want it to be, and also the burden and the pastoral heart behind it has really risen to the surface. And so I think now's the time, and I'm hoping and praying that this channel will be something that's helpful to the church, beneficial to those who listen and watch. And so what I want to do in this video, again, is just kind of do two things. Firstly, to introduce myself, but also to talk about what the channel is and what this burden and passion behind it is. So first, a bit about me. As I said, my name is Corbin Henderson. I am a pastor in Brooklyn, New York, the pastor of Metropolitan Baptist Church, a Reformed Baptist Church in Brooklyn. I've only been here for a few months. Before this, I was a staff pastor at a church in Southwest Missouri for close to 6 years. And really, it's been this journey from being a kid who grew up in Missouri, grew up in the Bible Belt, to being a pastor in New York that's inspired and shaped some of the vision and the ideas behind this YouTube channel. I've been married to my wife for almost 7 years now, my wife Heaven. She's a wonderful, godly woman. We have two little girls, Charlie and Winnie, and we also have a little baby boy due here in September, which is only about a month and a half away, and we're very excited about that. I graduated from Spurgeon College in Kansas City with a Bachelor of Arts in Christian Ministry, and then again from Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, the seminary there at Spurgeon, with a Master of Arts in Theological Studies, and I'm now doing a doctoral program there, doing my DMin in expository preaching. So that's a bit about me. I'm going to explain a little bit more about the journey from Missouri to New York and how that shaped the channel here in just a minute. But that's a quick introduction, a quick short bio to me. I feel awkward talking about myself, but I think it'll be helpful going forward to have a reference point of, you scroll past these videos, you click on one, you listen, who is this guy? Now you have something that you can look at and learn a little bit about me. Now, the name of the channel is Shelter and Soapbox, which might be a bit of a weird name for a YouTube channel, might be confusing, might not really know what that means or what that's about. And really, that name, I've tried in that name to capture what it is that I want to accomplish in this channel, what the aim of the channel is. So I want to just break down that name, Shelter and Soapbox, for a few moments to give you an idea of what the channel is going to be about. So first, shelter. Shelter, I've pulled that word from the ministry of Francis and Edith Schaeffer. They started a ministry. They were missionaries to the Swiss Alps in the 20th century, and they started a ministry called L'Abri, which is French for shelter. And essentially what their ministry looked like was they provided a shelter for Christians with questions about the faith, or for non-Christians who have questions about Christianity. And their ministry motto, Francis Schaeffer's ministry philosophy motto, was honest answers to honest questions. And really, that ministry mindset of shelter and providing honest answers to people with honest questions has really helped shape what I want this YouTube channel to be. Francis Schaeffer had what would probably be called today a deconstruction or a deconstruction story. Maybe you're familiar with that word. It's often used in when talking about people who were Christian and they maybe deconstructed parts of what they believe and they ended up in a different camp of Christianity, maybe a different tradition, went from Protestant to Orthodox Protestant to Catholicism, or they deconstructed and that resulted in them deconverting altogether. Francis Schaeffer, even though that word wasn't really coined for what it's being used for now, back in his day, had basically a year-long process where he had to take apart his faith, re-examine everything, and then his journey of really examining everything that he believed and seeing what has good fruit, what has biblical basis, what's right, inspired the ministry of L'Abri, where he wanted to provide a shelter for people who also had questions like he had. And the same is really true for me. I went on a bit of a journey with deconstruction over the last 10 years or so, where I just saw some of the fruit of the theology that I had in the context that I was in, and saw that the fruit really wasn't great. And so that led me to a bit of a crisis of faith, where I wanted to lay out everything that I believed on the table and really examine it, work through it piece by piece, work through what is actually biblical, what is actually historical Christianity, and what is the fruit of what I believe. Is it good fruit or is it bad fruit? And so this led me on a journey that's not really as dramatic or drastic as you sometimes see online, where somebody went from, again, like conservative Christianity to liberal Christianity, or from Catholic to Protestant, or vice versa. What really happened was I was led on a journey from moving from being what I would describe as like an independent, fundamental Baptist, Arminian, dispensational kind of thinker, to being a Reformed Baptist who takes seriously creeds, catechisms, the history of the church, and things of that nature. And that was the journey that I really went on. And it was a bit scary at different points. And so Francis Schaeffer and his books, his writings, as well as his wife Edith, and just the whole idea behind L'Abri, behind Shelter, was very helpful for me in that process that I went through. And so that's really shaped what I want this channel to be. I want to be a resource to people who are questioning, who have questions either about what they believe as Christians or about Christianity, looking in from the outside. I want to be a place that provides a shelter for people in the boat that I was in, or people who are outside of Christianity considering it. I want to be a place where questions can be answered. I want this channel to be something that provides historic Christian teaching that helps reconstruct and build faith and gives answers to some of those questions that people out there might have, similar to what I went through. And so that's the idea behind the name Shelter. I want this channel to be a shelter for people who have questions, whether it's questions about Christianity or questions about what they believe as Christians. So that's the first part, Shelter. Inspired by L'Abri, inspired by Francis and Edith Schaeffer, and inspired by my own journey moving from sort of, as I said, an independent fundamental Baptist and everything that entailed, and a lot of the abuses that entailed, to a more Reformed Baptist, confessional, historically rooted kind of Christianity. So that's the Shelter part. Now the soapbox part, and really this is a lot more brief. I also want this channel to be a quote-unquote soapbox, where I engage culture, where there's teaching, where there's addressing different issues going on in our world today. So it's not just a safe place, a shelter for people with questions to come and have their questions answered, but also a place where I step out and address some of the different things going on in our world, in Christianity, and just in the cultural, in the culture in general. So Shelter and soapbox, a place to come and have questions answered, but also a place where I can stand up and teach historic biblical truth online. So that's the vision and the idea behind the channel. Past that, and really those two ideas are pretty broad, which means past that, it's kind of going to be a Christian junk drawer channel, where I talk about a lot of different things. In that, this idea of being a shelter and being a soapbox is broad and means that a lot of different things can be addressed, whether it's historic Christian doctrine, whether it's apologetics, or engaging culture, maybe talking about the arts, talking about cinema, talking about what's going on in the world, news, politics, whatever it might be. This will be a place where I can address those things from a biblical basis and also from the basis of historic Christianity. And so there'll be a lot of different types of content that pop up here, but undergirding all of those different types of videos that we might make will be this idea of wanting to be a shelter for those with questions, but also a soapbox where we stand up and teach historic Christian doctrine. So that's the hope and the idea for the channel, birthed out of a personal journey, personal experience, but also shaped by those influences that helped me on that journey and through that process. And I hope to do the same for others. So if that's something you're interested in, if that's something you would find helpful, I invite you to subscribe. I ask that you would pray for me, that I do this well. I don't really know what the cadence is going to be for posting and uploading videos. As I said, I'm a pastor. That's a full-time gig. My first and primary responsibility is to my flock. And so this is something that might be slower at first, and then as it builds, as it grows, Lord willing, becomes more where there's a sharper cadence for the frequency of the videos and all of that. But I do ask, this is something that you're interested in, if this is something that you would find helpful, consider subscribing, consider hopping along on this journey with me. Thanks for clicking the video. Thanks for listening. I hope I haven't rambled too much, but thanks for being here. I hope that you'll engage further with the content that you find here on this channel, Shelter and Soapbox.